Dvandvatitam Gaganasadarsham Tattvamasyaati Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namaha. So we start. Today is just an introductory session. I just want to know who's here and what's going on. Of course, I'll tell you a little bit about Kriya, but tomorrow onwards, we start the Kriya in right earnest. So, I see old friends, I also see new faces, which is good, of course. So, I also see some people who attended the Upanishad and they're back here again for the Kriya. No? There are many actually, lots of people. Yeah. So, did the Upanishad kindle the desire to learn Kriya? Did it? Yes? Okay. Let me tell you about the Kriya Yoga lineage first. So this is a general discussion. We don't have to go into Kriya. Tomorrow we'll do all that. Okay? So what did I say? Yeah, if you practice too much Kriya, you will become like me. Every second you will say, what did I say? So the lineage, yes. So if you go back into, you've grown a beard? I didn't recognize you really. You're looking more like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. No, okay. So, yeah. So if you go back into the early times, the first reference to Kriya, because Kriya might have existed even before that, I'm sure it did, but the first reference to Kriya that we know of generally, would be in the Bhagavad Gita. So if you go to the 6th chapter, which is called Abhyasa Yoga, which means yoga of meditation. It has been variously translated as yoga of meditation, yoga of practice. Abhyasa in Sanskrit actually means practice. Okay? If you go back, you will find Krishna teaching Arjuna how to meditate. So, what's your name, the one sitting next to Dr. Boba? Huh? Marie. His hair reminds me of Babaji. So, sorry for the distraction. So, in the 6th chapter, after describing the kind of place one should sit for meditation, Krishna says to Arjuna, a place should be protected from disasters and so on. And it should be a place where you can, which is neither too high nor too low. And it should be free from all natural troubles and insects and so on. And then you should put a cloth on top of that, darbha grass on top of that, and so on. How to make the asana. And then he says, so sit in a comfortable posture on that, and then fixing your attention in the Ajna chakra, which means the center between the eyebrows. He calls it, I think, Bhru-madhya. The center of the eyebrows, fixing your attention there. Balance your prana and apana. Balance your prana, the air, the breath that goes up is prana and goes down is apana. So balance these two, and after balancing these two, fix your attention in the Bhru-madhya and be free. This is the description given. Obviously, in a text like the Bhagavad Gita, which thousands are going to read and have read, Krishna would not have revealed the whole Kriya, of course. But he makes a general discussion of this. This is how it is done. Now, those who want to learn more in detail, it is understood that you should go to a teacher and sit down and learn. So, the interest is kindled and the rough idea of what you do is given. How? Well, it's not been described. Now, then you come on to, a little later, you come to a great teacher who wrote a Tamil text on Kriya. Thiru wrote a book on the practice of yoga. Anybody knows? So he wrote the Mantiram, means the great mantra, in which Kriya is described in combination with the chanting of the Panchakshara called Om Namah Shivaya. Second reference, earliest I'm saying, meaning we are coming down now. Then for a long time, Kriya was kind of hidden away by many yogis who practiced in the Himalayas or in other caves in the south. It was kept kind of, because a steady practitioner of Kriya, with all its yamas and niyamas, rules and regulations, develops tremendous capacity and energy and one-pointed attention to achieve mostly whatever he wants or she wants. Now this became a little dangerous in the age when human beings became more and more selfish. Not shellfish, selfish. So it was kind of kept, only the non-essential parts were disclosed, some pranayam was taught, but the actual essence was kept away for some time. But those who were serious would somehow find where the source is and go and get it. So it went on for some time, until a railway employee who worked with the, I think, Eastern Railways in Calcutta, in Bengal, was posted in a far-off place near Dwarahat in the Himalayas. He was in the accounts department of the railways, Eastern Railways. And he used to go for walks. So his name was Shyamacharan Lahiri. So one evening he went for a walk somewhere in the hills, and he thought somebody was calling him. He was wondering who on earth knows me around here. So he looked up, and near the hill he saw a young man with long hair standing there. That's his description. And he said, "Come here." He told him in Bengali, "Asum, Shyamacharan," he called him. So he went there and wondering who, I don't know this guy, looks like a yogi, okay. So he went and he took him into a cave and near Dwarahat, and spoke to him for a while and introduced him to a practice which he called the Kriya. Before that, among the Nath Sampradaya, Kriya was practiced for many years by so many other teachers. But it was not so well known. The time had come when it should be kind of more known by people, probably. So the person who has been entrusted with the secret of Kriya, Babaji, in our tradition, in the Nath Sampradaya, he is referred to in many of the texts as Sri Guru Babaji. We'll come to why he is called Mahavatar Babaji, but is referred to as Sri Guru Babaji for hundreds of years. Even Gorakhnath refers to him by chanting the mantra Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, which is the mantra of Guru Babaji. He also says Sri Nityanathaya Namaha, which means the Nath who is always there for a long time. Well, when the Mahapralaya comes, he also should go, but generally. So, Lahiri Mahasaya then started practicing the Kriya. Mahasaya was the name added because it means master in Bengali, so it became Mahasaya. So he came and he started practicing, and then later in his life, he shifted from Bengal and went to stay in Banaras. So he lived all his life after that in Banaras, and he died in Banaras. So he had many disciples who he taught, but he was very selective. His main disciple, most important disciple, was someone from Jharkhand, from Devghar, called Panchanan Bhattacharya. Now this is an interesting story because Panchanan Bhattacharya, meanwhile Lahiri Mahasaya was teaching Kriya to various people. Even great sannyasins used to come at night and sit and learn from him. But he was a married man, he was a householder. He had 2 children. Both of them became yogis, of course, both boys. So he used to, So he went to Panchanan Bhattacharya. Now the Panchanan Bhattacharya story is very interesting. He was a very spiritual-minded guy from his youth. So then he got married and he had 6 children. And he was what you call a zamindar in India, which means a landowner who had lots of acres of land growing various things. And one day he decided that he wanted to give up this life and become a monk, a sannyas. So he went somewhere. In the Vedas, if you don't get a proper person to initiate you into sannyas, too much sun coming in. You too, are you okay? Do you want to put the AC on? You okay? Yourself? You okay? So, I come from India, so I'm quite accustomed to it. So, what did I say? Yeah. So, in the Vedas, there is one way of taking sannyas. If you can't find a teacher who agrees to give you sannyas, which is to become a monk, which is, if you are really serious, you can go and stand near a river, keep the sun as a witness, wear a saffron robe, shave your head and say, now I am a sannyas. This provision is there, of course. Rarely people follow it, but it's there. So he did that. He went to many sannyasins and he was not happy with them. So he took sannyas himself. And then he was wandering around and he came to know from various sources that Kriya Yoga is an excellent way to move forward in this journey. But who will teach him Kriya? So somebody told him there is a great yogi called Shyamacharan Lahiri. This was when he was still in Bengal, who can teach you Kriya, because he is a Kriya Yoga practice. So he went there. So Lahiri Mahasaya used to sit in his parlor always, and few people used to go there. He was a happy man because there weren't many people like this. One or two came and went. And he walked in. When Mahasaya looked at him, he was a saffron-clad, middle-aged man coming with his head shaved. So he's a sannyasin. So he said, sit down. So he sat down. Then he said, I have come to learn Kriya from you. He said, So then he said, so when did you take sannyas? He said, sometime, okay. And at home, before you took sannyas, how many children do you have? He said, 6. So he said, so do you expect me to take care of them? Do you expect me to take care of your wife and your 6 kids? He couldn't say he didn't know what to say, so he just kept quiet. So I said to him, okay, you're serious about Kriya? Yes. You're ready for any sacrifice? Yes. Go and change your clothes, wear normal clothes and come back. So the poor man went back and changed into normal white clothes or whatever. Now, you must understand, traditionally, if you take sannyas, you cannot go back. I mean, it's considered a big crime to again come back. But Lahiri Mahasaya, looking at his mind, knew that this guy is not prepared or ready for it. He's just done it, the whim of the moment. So he went back. Then he taught him Kriya. He used to come often and go. He was his most important disciple. He had some disciples after Lahiri Mahasaya passed away. If you go to the Bengali Tola section of Banaras, you will find small Kriya schools, which are all Kriya taught by some of the disciples of Panchanan Bhattacharya. And among Lahiri Mahasaya's disciples, there was also Yukteswar Giri Maharaj and various other people. Keshavananda was there, and so many people were there. Panchanan Bhattacharya was his most important disciple. Then still people didn't know much about Kriya or Babaji or anything, till Yogananda Paramahamsa, who was a disciple of Yukteswar Maharaj. Although if you read that, you would think Yukteswar Maharaj is the most important disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya. Not true. I'm not criticizing, but it's not true. Panchanan Bhattacharya was the most important teacher. Disciple. Anyway, so the book was beautiful. Many of you might have read it, so it became popular. Now, in the book, problem is that Yogananda Paramahamsa physically did not meet Sri Guru Babaji. But he said he saw him in a vision somewhere in a hotel in the West. I don't know exactly where. And he also didn't travel much to the Himalayas. So based on that, what the vision he had of Sri Guru Babaji, he described it to his brother, who was a great artist. So his brother painted a picture of Sri Guru Babaji based on Yogananda Paramahamsa's description. This is the popular picture that you find everywhere, which came out because the book became very popular all over the world, the Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda Paramahamsa. So in that, for the first time, Sri Guru Babaji was referred to as Mahavatar Babaji. That word was coined by Yogananda Paramahamsa because he thought, what he said was, the rationale was, that many divine manifestations have come and gone. But this one is remaining for a long time till now. So he called him Mahavatar. So this is how the Mahavatar name came into being. And this end, so how did Kriya Yoga come to me? Maheshwarnath Babaji was a wandering Nathpanthi from the Nath Sampradaya, which means Adinath is supposed to be Paramashiva himself, and then the next one is Gorakhnath's teacher, Matsyendranath. The Matsyendranath, then Gorakhnath, and then the Navanaths and so on. So Maheshwarnath Babaji was a Nathpanthi. He wore those rings here, I had matted hair. I was allowed to not wear it, but I used to wear rings here, of course. And he was one of the unknown but chief disciples of Sri Guru Babaji. Sri Guru Babaji had a few disciples here and there who used to wander with him he wouldn't stay for more than 3 days in one place. At the moment 3 days are over, they used to camp in tents. So he used to say, come on, pick up your tents now. The actual words used is Dera Danda Uthao. So Dera and Danda have to be lifted up and people move forward. So, Maheshwarnath Babaji was one of the close disciples of Sri Guru Babaji. So it is from him that I got the Kriya. So therefore, if there is a Kriya Yoga circle starting with Maheshwarnath Babaji or Lahiri Mahasaya or Yogananda Paramahamsa, the roots are the same. The roots are the same. But there may be some variations here and there depending on various factors, which teacher taught you, which lineage it comes from. There are some differences, but the main Kriya has to be the same. If that main Kriya does not occur in something which you learned as Kriya Yoga, then it's not this Kriya. Having said that, I won't deny that in the Yoga Shastra there are hundreds of Kriyas existing. Need not necessarily be this Kriya, because Kriya simply means a practice, a meditation or a practical step-by-step and systematic approach towards understanding of the self is Kriya. So there could be many Kriyas. When I say Kriya, I'm talking about this particular lineage from which the Kriya has come to me. Any questions? Bhole-nath, what is the meaning of Bhole? So Bhole-nath is a name given to Shiva himself. Which is Shiva meaning the supreme reality in the form of a linga. Now this being, Shivam, we can call it Shivam if you like, is considered to be the Adi Guru of the Kriya Sampradaya. After him comes Matsyendranath, then from Matsyendranath, Gorakhnath.
And Sri Guru Babaji is Adinath.
We think, or we consider Sri Guru Babaji to be not different from Adinath. However, that's what we think. I personally do not try to define Sri Guru Babaji. You can define somebody who was born of a human womb. I know there are many stories circulating. He was born in the south, east, west, Parangipete and things like that. I think it's all nonsense because he was not born of any human parents. It's a being. We consider in our tradition that he has a body which we call the Mayavi-rupa. It's not a body which was young and then developed into a big person. It's like this. And it will continue till he wants. When that intelligence doesn't want it, it will dissolve. So therefore, there is no comparison like a human being like me or Lahiri Mahasaya or even anybody else that you can compare with this being. And plus, since we are on this subject, if you have an intense desire sometimes, mainly you need to only practice Kriya and move forward. But suppose one has an intense desire that I must have a face-to-face darshan of Babaji or something, it's futile to go to the Himalayas and search, okay? If Babaji wants you to see him, he will come here, like in the hall, and not you. If Babaji wants you to see him, he will be there at your doorstep. You don't have to look here, there and everywhere. That doesn't mean that when somebody rings a bell and comes for pizza delivery, that's Babaji, please. So, actually, if you develop your inner being through the practice of Kriya and through not only Kriya, through the ways of life which you need to adopt to learn Kriya and do your sadhana, then there is no need actually to see Babaji or have a darshan, but if it is required, it will happen. You don't have to run around looking. Please go to the Himalayas, I am not stopping you from doing that. But then if you go now, to Rishikesh, when I went to Rishikesh, it was, when did I reach Rishikesh? When I was 19 years old. That is, which year would it? My maths is very bad. Huh? 19? Around 66, 67, Rishikesh was a different picture altogether, okay? Now you go to Rishikesh, it's like a spiritual bazaar. Of course, nice, good water is coming, tap water is there, light is there, everything is there, all that facilities are there. But you will see innumerable yoga teachers, innumerable, and there are some people just smoking cannabis and hanging around. It's become like, and since it is close to Delhi, on weekends people come from Delhi. There are big hotels now, so they live there, they enjoy, throw all the cans on the road, Swachh Bharat, and then they go back. And this is Rishikesh now. The time when I went to Rishikesh, it was actually a place where one could meditate. There was hardly anybody out there. Ashrams were there, of course, like Shivananda ashram, a couple of ashrams. It was a paradise, I must say. There were not many places to eat, but that's not the most important. You can go to a picnic spot to eat. You don't have to go to Rishikesh for that. So, what I'm trying to say is, keep your mind clean and clear, do your meditation, do your Kriya, and keep saying, Babaji, I need to have a glimpse of you. And maybe you will come. I have no license to tell you, do this and you will see him. My job is to teach Kriya. I cannot guarantee this. But that you take Kriya from somebody who has Kriya from this lineage means Babaji is already protecting you and is with you, because we chant the Guru Mantra, right? Guru Mantra is meant to protect you and take care of you, at least on the spiritual side. We have 10 more minutes. Any other question in this? Yeah.
Guru Mantra, can we chant it at any point of time in a day, like maybe driving or something like that?
No, Guru Mantra. At one time, people used to come to me for Kriya, and I used to make them come 3 years in succession before giving the Guru Mantra. That was once upon a time. Then I found that people are too eager to get it, and this is not the right thing to do. So I decided to be a little more, what shall I say, liberal. So then, after some years, I realized that internet, with all its faults, also has many good points, which is, it carries information fast. So I have chanted the Guru Mantra on YouTube. You must have heard that. And every Guru Purnima I again chant it so that people can listen and practice the Guru Mantra, if not anything else. So you know the Guru Mantra now. Many people know. It's simple. It's just Om Hreem Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. That's all. So it's Om Hreem Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hreem is a Bijakshara. We won't go into that. But it is the mantra given by Babaji to us to chant as a Guru Mantra. So your question was, can we chant it any time? Okay. Now, while the Guru Mantra is intended to be chanted before you begin the practice of Kriya, you can also chant it otherwise, for the simple reason that it's a mantra which says, I bow down to Sri Guru Babaji. When you practice that, you know how to do it. It's already there in your heart. So you say, Babaji is in my heart. I bow down to you. Om. And Hreem Bijakshara, which is a Bijakshara of Shakti, of energy. It's combined. So, while it is primarily for chanting before Kriya, you may also chant Guru Mantra any time you like. Morning, evening, it doesn't matter. Where you're sitting doesn't matter. You can chant the Guru Mantra anywhere. Now, the main intention of the Guru Mantra is to take you to spiritual fulfillment, But we are human beings with various problems and things like that, normal. So in some times when you are in a dire state and you don't know what else to do, you can also chant the Guru Mantra and ask for help. Don't make that the only reason for chanting the Guru. It's basically meant for moving forward in the spiritual field, but then we all have our problems, we are human beings, conditioned. So sometimes you can put your hand here and nothing else works. Chant the Guru Mantra and say, please help. Anybody else?
Sir, first of all, thank you very much. Somebody cancelled, so I got this opportunity to be here. Last time I could not, and I was very disappointed. But
what's your name?
Rajesh. I'm coming from Dallas, 2 hours drive.
Not far.
I read your book, and that's how I got, before that I had read Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. So I just had a humble comment. It's not, just based on what I read, I think Yogananda did meet with Babaji in person. He mentioned that before he was to come to US, he was sitting in meditation and he said that...
Exactly. So he didn't go to the cave or anywhere and meet him.
So he said there was...
Yes.
Oh,
so,
go ahead, sorry.
Yes. This is what. So he had a vision of Babaji and it was so real. It's like...
Yeah, he said there was a knock at the door, so and they said, you will be protected.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yes. But the picture is the rendition of his younger brother, he drew it. So it's not accurate.
No. He described and he painted.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that, I'm just saying.
But thank you,
There at the back. How are you? Your name, please?
Prerak.
Huh?
Prerak. Prerak.
Apreya.
Just Prerak.
Preya, okay.
They had high inspiration, so they called me someone who inspires. Anyway, so the end goal being liberation, or maybe many lifetimes, and in this lifetime I'm attracted to Kriya Yoga. And I've been trying meditation in the past also. One of the things is, sometimes you get caught up in the techniques too much.
Yes.
Besides Kriya Yoga, what are the other things we need to do? Because I found out that over time, sometimes just doing Kriya Yoga or any meditation becomes just like a workout. Like you do your breaths, you do your meditation, and you're good. What are the other things we need to do to succeed towards that
this
goal?
we will discuss when we start the Kriya tomorrow. Kriya is not just a mechanical practice that you do and everything is okay. No. We need to also lead a certain life. And there are various other factors to be added on to make Kriya successful, let's say. We'll discuss that. I want to go about it in a elaborate way. We have 2 days, right? So tomorrow we will go through what you said just now. I understand that, because without that, there's no point in just getting into the Kriya technique. So tomorrow by evening time, evening session, I will start the actual practice. And then day after tomorrow, whole day we'll do that. That's the way it should be. We have 5 more minutes, please. Sir, in the front there are some people. We will have an opportunity again. Don't worry.
Hello, Guruji. Being a grahastha, a householder, it is a little challenging to practice Kriya. And at least for me personally, at least for me, the time that I can find to meditate is as you've done before, to lie down when you're sleeping and try to practice it. And I know you, in one of the videos or in the book, I know Maheshwarnath Babaji had taught you the technique of, just watching something and not sleeping and doing. So how did the yogis do it, including Maheshwarnath Babaji? How
do
can
what?
we do, practice Kriya, or how do you replace sleep?
No, you don't worry about sleep at the moment. Let's worry about the Kriya, okay? Okay, suppose you're watching a very interesting program on Amazon or Netflix or something. It's so interesting, maybe an adventure or it may be something else. Do you sleep? No. Now, when you have that kind of interest in your spiritual practice, you don't even have to worry about sleep. It won't come. So, till then, we need to only deepen our practice by regularly. And don't say, I'm a married man, I'm a married man myself. And I have a wife. You know what I mean. So, it's not like that. It's still possible. My intention is to take Kriya to a person like you and me, who is doing a job, who is married, who has kids, and then see if it's going to work. This is my work I'm doing. If you can't do that, then I am a failure.
Thank you, Guruji.
You think we need to? Okay, one more. Yes.
Hello, Guruji. My name is Sadashivaram. I'm from Austin.
Sadashivam.
Yes. My question is, what's the difference between learning something and getting initiated into something?
Now this is a long subject. Okay, I'll tell you short and tomorrow we'll elaborate on it. Learning something is, you can learn from a book, you can listen to somebody talking and learn something, like I said something you learned. Initiate, in fact the Sanskrit word for initiation is Diksha. Diksha means to show the direction, dik. Dik means direction, dig. So Diksha is how to show direction practically, which involves a link between the person who learns and the person who teaches. Now this link is inseparable once initiation happens, and even if you try to knock it off, it won't go, it will catch you somewhere in some life. Which means, if I initiate you, till you reach that goal, even if it be many lives, I'll haunt you like a ghost. That's what I mean. You may not even realize it, but I'm watching. Where is this guy going? If I am a teacher. This is the meaning of it. Diksha. Diksha is a personal relationship between the teacher and the taught. It cannot be dissolved. Unless you really say, I am not it all the time. That's a different matter, but as long as your interest is there, it will be always there till you find your goal. And if you suffer, we suffer, and if you enjoy, we enjoy. This is Diksha. Huh? I think now we need to... Were you standing on that stool? Everything okay? Recording? Great. Great.